What's up, Brewski? My name is Marco Dupa. With me, as always, the great and powerful Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
What's up?
Tonight's brew is from the Goose Island Beer Company.
Honk.
Their neon beer hug. And Adam's going to have a little bit more about that after the break. What's on tap for you guys tonight? PlayStation just announced that they're Gamescom something.
Yeah,
they just announced it.
Yeah. The game thing.
The game thing.
Yeah, with the guy
And the dudes.
Yeah.
And the guys. That they have now their own version of the Xbox Pro controller. I think this was called the Pro Elite or something like that.
Yeah.
Their DualSense Edge. And we're going to get into the specs of that because that's very interesting because I don't know. I mean, I talked about it last week, right? As my cheers. But I mean, your boy's in there now. So we can have
Freshly
these conversations.
minted.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm ready to just, because I'm definitely copping that controller.
Yeah.
And then, of course, this podcast wouldn't be complete if we didn't talk about some controversy in the music industry. And boy, howdy, is there some. FN Meka, you guys had to know that this was a thing, and we were going to talk about it. There's no way I could let it live down without addressing it a little bit. So, AI rapper signed to Capitol Records. He's not. We're gonna get into it.
He's not even a he.
He's not even it. Yeah,
He's a thing.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
Signed and then promptly dropped from the label within weeks, and we're going to get into why later on. So let's get into it. You ready to do this thing?
Am I?
Well, this is episode 366 of the One Beer In podcast.
Lost to be found by someone to save you when you're down. Yes, I'm bored when it's bright out. So bored when it's bright out. 4 to 5 a.m. takes me to a place where I am.
Is Goose Island not... They're not independent anymore, right?
No.
Who bought them?
Me. I don't know. I mean, maybe they are and they just have a distribution deal, but I know they've been one of the big big box, if you will, breweries that you find in most places that don't have other craft beer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I say that as both an apology and an acknowledgement of why I got a Goose Island beer.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's important for us to try some of the bigger names, even though we love our local craft beer scene and your little mom and pop shops. You know, I figure why not every once in a while grab something from Publix and see what they're messing with nowadays. 'Cause that's really how we started this entire craft beer journey.
That's true.
Was just trying out the stuff they had locally, outside of the breweries themselves. So, getting back to our classless roots.
Yeah. I wonder what... I'd love to do a side-by-side of this and just the Goose Island IPA, like the flagship IPA that's at every sports bar now.
Yeah.
Just to kind of understand why the neon beer even needs to exist.
Anheuser-Busch owns Goose Island.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That is what I thought. All right. Well, this is the One Beer In podcast, the podcast where two brews crack open a brew and see where that one brew takes us. And Adam, you gave a little bit. You got any more about the neon beer hug?
Well, unfortunately, it doesn't have a cold read for me, but on the box, it does say an electric bouquet of tropical and citrus flavors. This is the Goose Island Neon Beer Hug IPA. Comes in at a 7% ABV. That's basically all we got.
Okay.
Yeah, that's basically all we got.
All right. Well, that's
but-
all we need.
I will say this is part of a series, apparently. The beer hug is its own thing. So I think they have their own like variety pack of beer hugs if you can find those locally.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the neon.
All right.
Yeah.
Rock and roll. Let's do it to it, baby. Let's start with the PlayStation controller.
Okay.
That seems fun.
Yeah, it should be, and very expensive.
Yeah.
One would think.
Yeah.
But yes, as you were saying, the DualSense Edge. I always want to call it the DualShock still.
Yeah.
The DualSense.
Because DualShock sounds cool as shit.
It does.
DualSense is...
It sounds softer.
Yeah.
I don't like
DualSense.
DualSense.
It's like when Squaresoft just became Square.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, that is Square. It's lame as
Or
fuck.
it was Square Enix, wasn't it, for a while?
Yeah, it was Square Enix.
Yeah.
Then Squaresoft.
Squaresoft. No,
Squaresoft, then Square Enix,
then
now
just
it's
Square. Yeah.
That's trash.
Yeah.
Just be Squaresoft. Because software from Square.
It means something to us.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It mattered.
It's one of my earliest memories of understanding, like, how video games got made.
Yeah.
And not just playing them, but, like,
Sure.
there's developers
Yeah.
and publishers and all these companies and all this shit that goes into it.
Yeah.
It's one of the first, obviously, like, the consoles, Nintendo and all that
Sure.
jazz, but, like, the companies, like
Yeah.
Konami,
Capcom.
Rare,
Yeah. For going to N64.
yeah.
Yeah.
Acclaim was one of them because it made
Jam.
NBA Jam. Yeah. So
It used to matter.
it used to matter.
It used to mean something.
And I just come up with these stupid names. It's just like, come on, man. You want people to remember this shit? The last name, ironically, that really, really meant something to me, or that I thought was a good name, a clever name, was Respawn.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool because it was a bunch of guys from a company, and they're like, offshoot into a new thing, and it's like their
Yeah.
rebirth. It's
Yeah.
like them coming back from.
Because they left from Call of Duty, didn't they?
Yeah.
They all respawned off of Call of Duty. Yeah.
Exactly, and I
That's
thought
good.
that's a good name.
like that.
I can't believe nobody else had that before
Yeah,
they did. 'Cause
yeah.
that's a great name. That was the last one that I heard that I thought was good.
If only they'd make Titanfall 3.
Come on, guys, we're begging. We're begging it.
Use all that extra money you have now that you're raking in.
Right. Just make that Titanfall, man.
Please,
Come on.
please.
Can you imagine
I
a
beg of you.
Titanfall battle royale? Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know people would say that already exists, but
What?
with
Apex?
mechs, yeah.
Yeah, but Apex, yeah,
It's not the same.
It's not, because honestly, if you just threw mechs into Apex, then I'd be
Yeah,
happy with that.
that'd be great.
But I still want a Titanfall 3. You don't get to the heights of that Titanfall single player mode, Titanfall 2.
Yeah.
You don't get to those heights and then just leave us hanging.
I know.
You know?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
It was so good. Titanfall 2 is so good.
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 Underrated for being as successful and as critically acclaimed as it
Yeah.
was. Underrated.
Yeah. Yeah. Underplayed.
Definitely.
You can buy it for like $5 now, so if you haven't,
Unreal.
fix that.
Just get it.
Anyway,
Yeah.
the DualSense Edge, according to PlayStation Blog, it's going to have a number of features and hardware and software-based customization options for creating a completely personalized controller experience, including ultra-customizable controls, so you can remap or deactivate specific button inputs, fine-tune your aim by adjusting stick sensitivity in dead zones. Each trigger is adjustable with options to tailor travel distance in dead zones. So yeah,
Wild.
I mean, perfect for every competitive first-person shooter player,
Oh, yeah.
even racing games. So that's cool. The ability to save multiple control profiles, so you can swap between different profiles based on however your specific controller is customized, which seems cool too.
Yeah. You basically, these features, and I'm not gonna keep running them off, but this stuff is stuff that you have to do in game. Now you can just map it to your controller, which is
Yeah.
sick as fuck.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. It also says that you can apparently customize multiple profiles for different games too.
Yeah.
So, their example here is if you're playing Ragnarok, you're not going to want the same control scheme as you're playing in online battle royale.
Right.
So that's cool. On controller user interface. So I don't understand what this is, so let me actually read it verbatim.
Okay.
The dedicated FN button allows you to easily adjust your setup while staying focused on the in-game action. Quickly swap between your preset control profiles, adjust game volume and chat balance, and access the controller profile setting menu to set up and test new control iterations while in-game. Interesting.
Yeah. That seems pretty cut and dry.
Huh. So it's just a button that opens up a menu?
Yeah. So like mid game you can change your profile or fuck with your settings like in the middle of the game.
But does that mean the interface is on the controller itself? Like it pops up a screen or something? Like that seems confusing.
That would be a lot.
On controller user interface.
On control. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
that part. Yeah, that part is weird. So
as of now, from what it sounds like, it's just a button that pops up like a mini menu as you're playing the game, and you can fine tune stuff.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Changeable stick caps and back buttons, which makes sense. Replaceable stick modules play longer with the ability to fully replace each individual stick module on the controller. So whenever your sticks run out, start giving you the lag or the what's it called, the ghosting.
Yeah, the drift.
Stick drift. You can just replace those instead of having to buy a completely new controller.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's nice.
Because however much this controller is going to cost, if I have to fucking replace it, that's
so nice
nonsense.
of them. Yeah. And then finally, built-in DualSense wireless controller features. The DualSense Edge wireless controller retains the signature comfort and immersive experience of the DualSense wireless controller while playing supported games, including haptic feedback, adaptive triggers, built-in microphone, motion controls, and more. It comes with a fancy USB-C braided cable.
Does it say fancy?
No, I added that.
Okay. I was about to say, okay.
It has a carrying case.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about it.
But I don't think we need any more carrying cases for things like this.
No. I bought a fidget toy just to, keep my ADD at bay when I'm at work.
Okay.
And in meetings and stuff.
Interesting.
And it came with a carrying case.
It's just completely unnecessary.
Why? I don't need a carrying case.
Dude, if you ever in your life pull out a fidget spinner thing or the carrying case and then zzz, and then pull out your little we're no longer friends, that's for sure.
It's like what a supervillain has, right? It's so much pomp and circumstance for something so stupid.
They unzip it and then it floats in their hand because they're showing how powerful their telekinesis is. That's what
they start fidgeting with it while it's in their hand floating.
Yeah. And then it does like exploded view and just you see everything.
Yeah.
It's
too much.
Yeah,
it's too much.
Way too much.
Anyway, I guess that's where some of your money's going when you buy this. But
unnecessary.
Yeah. It looks cool though. It has like a nice sheen to it. It looks less like a toy and even more like a tool.
That was always the problem with the Mad Catz controllers. Anything that was like a customizable controller always looked and felt cheap.
Yeah.
And like a toy. Didn't feel real in your hands.
Yeah. And you can always tell because if you gripped it hard enough, you hear the the plastic
just bearing under the weight. Oh yeah, I've broken a couple of those.
Yeah. You ever used to do these to them?
Oh yeah.
Just to hear them.
Yeah. 1,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did that to once I got. It's so funny, because like maybe a month before I got the PlayStation, so I guess a month ago, I got a new PS4 controller because the one that I had, dude, I don't know if it's like this some kind of like Apple battery thing, in that like all of my shit started to fall apart.
Yeah.
But in the past like 3 months, I went through, well, two PS4 controllers, which before that I held on to one for like 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it was cutting into my thumbs,
Sure,
because there was no grip left.
Yeah.
But it was still working fine, and then out of nowhere it just stopped. Well, maybe it had a lot to do with me smashing it on the ground, but
I didn't want to say it, but
but I will say that controller lasted. I mean, it went through thick and thin with me, that and that PlayStation, man. And then I bought a controller, and then like 2 months in, the square button stopped working, so I just couldn't use it anymore. It is weird. Because like you lose, and that's why this thing is also kind of cool too. Being able to remap stuff, you can like, from what it sounds like, you can figure out like, the buttons. This button's fucked up. You can remap it.
Yeah, or
you can replace
parts,
it. Yeah. That would be so much more clutch than having to go to the store and get a brand new controller when one button isn't working. Everything else is fine. One button's not working.
Yeah, I mean, there are ways to repair those kind of things on your own, but they are usually a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I mean, I took the controller apart to see if any of the things had become detached, or if there was any, like, I don't know, fuzz in there or anything. It's just like a simple like look through, but pulled it apart and I was just like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. What am I going to do with this?
Just throw it in the garbage.
Yeah, I mean, I just snapped it back together. I was like, there's nothing else. There's nothing else for me to do unless there was a thing just looking me in the face going, replace this. Like, there's nothing else I was going to do. So then I got another controller. And I mean, that one was working okay and then I got the fucking PS5. So it's like, I don't know what to. I don't want to just get rid of the PS4 and all this stuff but I kind of feel like, what am I gonna do with it now?
I mean, not yet. Maybe hold on to it for another year.
For what? I mean, I can't sell it. It is a relic of an old time. I couldn't sell it. It's in just poor condition. I'm surprised it even still works. Every day I turned it on, I was like, today's going to be the last.
I mean, you may be able to still sell it. I don't know. Get like $50 for it.
But at that point, I might as well just keep it.
That's true.
I'm just wondering, like, would I ever need to go back to it is the thing.
Probably not. But I don't know. It's always hard for me to throw stuff away. You know that.
I know that.
Yeah. So
yeah, we'll give a tour of the apartment.
That's all right. I'm holding on to mine only because it is my PSVR machine.
Yeah, but when VR2 comes out, you're not going to need it.
Right. So
after that, it's like, what's the point? It's just taking up space for me.
Well,
you know what?
PT? I have PT still.
You got PT, that's right. You do. You do have PT.
Yeah.
I'm just, I don't know. Because I didn't realize how easy it is to I just plugged in the external hard drive for my PS4, and all of the games just popped up on there, and I can just...
Yeah. Not to mention the cloud.
Yeah. Dude, I downloaded Vanguard, and I don't know if you've seen or heard anything about this. I downloaded Vanguard on accident. I was just trying to get back into Warzone, but I downloaded Call of Duty Vanguard, and I started playing it on my TV, and it sent my TV into a fucking seizure.
What happened?
So it started, like, as soon as I booted the game up, the screen started shaking, and then it turned into a different color, and it started shaking, and I couldn't recover it. I had to turn the PlayStation off, or I had to restart the PlayStation, and then I had to delete the game. I couldn't play it, and I haven't played a PS5 game on it yet. So probably tomorrow I will boot up Devil May Cry 5. It's 5 or 6? 5. It's 5.
Yeah.
That you let me borrow. I'm going to boot that up, and hopefully this was just like a freak occurrence, because if it can't play, and that's why I was wondering about, I had to Google it. I was like, I'm not wrong about the TV. Like, I thought, like, do I need a specific TV to play this PS5? I don't need an 8K TV. I have a 4K high def Vizio. I don't. And
it comes with an HDMI, right?
Yeah, it came with an HDMI. Yeah.
Okay.
So I can't think of anything, but it was really weird, and scared me. I was like, oh
weird.
no.
It's weird.
Do I have to like send this back? Am I going to have to wait another like 6 months for them to send me a new one? What's the deal? Because with a PS4, they got them just laying around. They're probably stepping over them. There's so many of them there.
I mean, that may be the case with PS5s too.
That's true, yeah.
So
they're probably just holding on to them.
yeah. But
I just, I don't want to think about the worst.
No.
But
There's no reason to at this point.
right. But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna put that DMC in there. See how that goes.
Yeah.
Then I'll get back to you.
Okay. It may be a settings thing. If you have like any of the what was it high the black
HDR thing?
HDR thing. Yeah. If you have that set up and your TV isn't, if your input isn't set up for that as well, it may be that is crossing the signals.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Because we don't know.
No clue.
Yeah.
All right. So no price yet for the controller, right? Just announced. No. I mean, a SCUF controller is like $180. You know what a SCUF is?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have no idea.
A SCUF controller is sort of like that, but more customizable. It's made by an independent company, SCUF.
Okay.
I think I'm pretty sure the company's SCUF, and they make fully customizable controllers for both PlayStation and Xbox.
I see.
And that's how people have been like, you play Call of Duty and you're like, how is this guy maneuvering this way? And it could be that they got the claw.
Yeah.
Or it could be that they bought a fucking SCUF controller.
Sure.
Which has like extra triggers and all
paddles.
kinds of which the Edge has.
Yes.
So I was super excited about that because I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
I'm probably still gonna get my fucking just I'm just gonna get cannibalized.
Your lunch and dinner ate.
But
Yeah.
I still feel like it'll at least put me on an even keel with some of these little freak shows. Yeah. So you can do almost anything with it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool, but it's super expensive.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, first of all, if the Edge is the same price as the SCUF, why not just get a SCUF? It's more customizable.
I don't think it will be. The SCUF Reflex Pro comes in at $219.
Yeah, that's the granddaddy right there.
So I don't see, and mind you, I don't know now. I don't see the Edge coming in at more than $150.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd do that.
If it's about $149.99,
Yeah.
I'll cop that boy.
That's what I think.
Yeah. I mean, they're already fucking. I mean, you want a replacement controller? It's another $70-something.
Right.
You know, why not just wait a little bit, save up, and get a fucking, a really good controller,
Yeah.
and then give your friend the Snickle Fritz.
Sure. Just looking for comparison's sake, the Xbox Elite Wireless Controller Series 2 is $179. So
That makes sense.
yeah,
That's a little pricey.
that's a little high. But thinking about it, the PlayStation 1, the Edge may come in maybe closer to that. I'm hoping for 150.
Yeah. It's probably gonna be.
We'll see.
Probably gonna be comparable to that.
Yeah. But I can almost guarantee it's gonna be under $200.
Yeah.
It's got to be, right?
Yeah, I mean, it has to be
To compete with an independent maker.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Yeah.
they have all the R&D and like all the man hours that they can possibly put into this thing as Sony PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
You have to figure that's going to be reflected in the cost.
I think the only thing that if it's going to be 200 or even somewhere in that neighborhood, they're just banking on the fact that people maybe not know what a SCUF is.
Sure.
And banking on like, hey, this is coming from the company itself. You can trust that.
Yeah. I will say, though, what gives me a little bit of confidence is going to be somewhat reasonable is that all of their like Pulse headphones have been super cheap.
Yeah.
Comparatively.
Yeah.
For what you get. So,
yeah.
I'm hoping they keep that going.
I have a nice pair of headphones, but they plug directly into the USB on the PlayStation itself.
Oh.
Yeah. So they're
Interesting.
not wireless. but I prefer it because I like mic monitoring.
Okay.
And I don't like plugging into the controller itself. Wireless control. I mean, I would like a wireless one, but they're like a little.
Why not into the controller? So you can't
Because
throw it. You've been fooled too many times.
Yeah, I can't. If I throw the headset, the controller's going with it, or vice versa.
Yeah. Your neck goes with it.
No, I like mic monitoring. I maybe it's from years of recording music and hearing my own voice through like headsets.
And this very podcast.
Yeah, but I don't like not being able to hear my own voice when I'm playing.
I've realized.
You're just full of it today. You fuck.
Uh-huh.
It's weird. I hear other people play with headsets. When I'm playing with a headset and I don't have mic monitoring, I have to have one ear off so that I can hear. I mean, it's not just, as vain as it sounds, it's not just about hearing my own voice. It's literally monitoring like how loud I am. Because I'm in a house with two other people, and I'm already screaming, and I'm already like angry, and it helps to, keep track of my levels.
Keep that in check.
Yeah. So, but you need to plug it. You need the power of the actual PlayStation. It can't plug into the controller. It has to plug directly into the. So, the mute button on the controller has been like super clutch.
Great. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Had no idea.
Yeah.
Love it.
I use it every single time I play.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And the controller just feels. Is this going to turn into like a love letter to the PlayStation? I mean, so far, I haven't really like taken it to its limits, which is what I'm like. I want to do.
Yeah, you're saying you haven't played a PS5 game yet, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't for a couple of reasons. Number one, I have to buy one. Other than DMC, you let me borrow. I don't have any.
Yeah, I guess so. There's nothing in the PS Plus collection?
Well, there is, but like...
Or are they all PS4 games?
All the ones in the collection are...
I know they're mostly PS4 games.
Yeah. I don't think... Ghost of Tsushima...
Has an upgrade.
Has an upgrade. I'm not spending $10 to play that game again. I already...
Yeah.
I love the game. It's one of my favorite games of all time.
Did you play the Iki Island?
I did.
Okay.
Yes.
All right,
I got the director's cut. I got the bonus features. I got all that jazz.
You got your
I'm not
money's
spending
worth.
another...
Yeah. That's how I felt about Spider-Man. I was like...
Yeah.
I played the hell out of that game, and I loved it, but I'm not going to play it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just play the PS4 version. Ray tracing and fucking it looks like, okay, if it's not a completely different experience, like I'm not spending more money on this.
Well, and to be fair, I was only able to do that because I played Miles Morales.
Yeah.
So I was able to see all the ray tracing and how cool it looks in the PS5 upgrade, but not have to replay the same game again.
Yeah.
So
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So as far as I guess I'm hesitant to play Forbidden West because I didn't play Zero Dawn. So I have to go back and play Zero Dawn.
Yes, you do. Which is in the collection, I'm pretty sure.
But it's not PS4.
Right.
And I have your copy. So I'll just play that.
Yeah, just put that in. Yeah, just put that in. Yeah, I think there's a PS5 upgrade for that.
If there is, then maybe I'll do that and kind of see, how it goes from, the first game to the next game. But that's a lot of game I got to play.
Yeah, it is.
You
have 2 open world games to get through.
Yeah, that's
if you want, and I'm not suggesting you do this. Don't get me wrong. You could just watch a playthrough.
No, not on this one. I'll play it.
Okay.
I'll play Zero Dawn just because I've heard so many good things about it from from Bond, from all these people.
I think that's smart, and mostly because a lot of the controls and a lot of the like sort of skills you get carry over. Your own physical skills, not like the game skills.
Yeah.
So you kind of learn how to play if you play through the first one.
Yeah.
First.
I will say I would play through God of War again.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a PS5 upgrade for that.
If not, it at least looks better. It runs and looks better on PS5. I think that's the same with Horizon Zero Dawn, actually, is there's not like a PS5 version of it, but they just optimize it for PS5.
Yeah. I can tell you this. I don't know if they've if Call of Duty did anything to optimize it for PS5, it feels better on the PS5. It's faster.
Yeah.
Stronger. It's just smoother. It's a smoother experience. I feel like I've been playing better. I mean, dropped a 14 bomb the other day.
Nice.
I'm in it. So I don't know if that's just the placebo effect of having but the controller does feel better in your hands. It's a better controller than the DualShock. It is. Yeah.
I was surprised because it's like chunkier.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't expecting to like more because the DualShock, like, your mitts kind of go around it more. Mm-hmm. They like curve around it more. But I've found it gives you the DualSense gives you a little less like hand fatigue because it's more spread out. You know, you have a little bit more meat on the bones to hold on to. Yeah,
and I think that the analog sticks are just wide enough. Mm-hmm. I've realized that with the DualShock, your thumbs are traveling.
That.
Yeah,
you gotta do that. Yeah,
and on the Sense, they're not traveling as much. Mm-hmm. And I can feel the lack of movement, and that it's easier for your thumbs to just stay in place and just like you said, the hand fatigue. Like I can feel that it's easier to use.
Yeah, it's just that much more ergonomic.
Yeah,
which I didn't think because I was so used to the DualShock. Yeah. Obviously, it's been essentially, I mean, close to unchanged in style for the past like 20 years.
I mean, literally, I have a PS2 controller I found in my garage, and I mean, minus the analog sticks because those came in the later versions.
Well, the PS1.
Well, yeah. And then I mean, it's almost exactly the same controller.
The same, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good design. Mm-hmm. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But they found a way to fix it, and now twice with the Edge.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah.
No, I'm definitely interested. Even though I'm not like a competitive gamer and I don't play online very much.
We're going to get you on Apex, you fuck. We're going to get you on Apex.
I know.
It's going to be fun. We all have PS5s now.
Yeah.
Maybe we can jump back into Battlefield.
If it works.
If it works.
If it's working out. I think there's been enough time. It feels like there's been enough time for them to work out a lot of the kinks.
Yeah, let's just jump back into Battlefield.
Why not?
I never even really got to give it a good go.
Yeah.
I mean, Juan, bless up, gave me a copy, and it's still just in the plastic,
sitting there,
because I didn't have it yet. Now I got it.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll pop that into. Fuck, I got so many games now. I just realized like they're just starting to pile up.
I realized I also had to give you something else too, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah. So. Oh man, and I really want to play that too.
Yeah.
I don't know what to start with. Do I start with Guardians or DMC or Forbidden West?
You'll dig them
not
all.
Forbidden West. Zero
Dawn. Ooh, that's a good question. What to start with on PS5? I think I would probably start with. I'd play Zero Dawn in the background as like a every once in a while game. And then I would, for a PS5 experience. Oh, that's tough. That's really tough. Yeah. You already beat Miles Morales, right? I have to give you that too then. Okay, Miles Morales then.
All right, yeah.
Make that your first like PS5 experience game because it's so pretty. It's so fun to play. It's really short too. Yeah. I mean, pretty short. It's like, I don't know. Maybe,
relative to
maybe like a third of the length of the full Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
Start with that.
Okay.
Yeah. Start with that.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Guardians is not super long either, and it's really fun, so you can hop in and out of that game too. DMC is incredible, but you kind of got to keep playing it once you start, or else you're gonna lose the muscle memory.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
I've played all of them except for this one.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite PlayStation 2 games.
Yeah.
I remember going to Blockbuster and just like,
I rented it too. I rented DMC 1 from Blockbuster, not knowing what I was getting into.
Yeah.
And I think I beat it in like 2 days.
Yeah.
Just running through it.
Yeah. And it does this perfect thing where it grades your gameplay real time.
Yeah.
So it makes you go, oh, what am I doing? I gotta combo better. I gotta
Super
get
sexy,
more
stylish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they really got you by the balls
Yeah.
when you start getting into it. You're like, I need to finish this at an S,
Yeah.
or I failed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the all I have all these games I need to play. I really want to experience this the console for what it is. I want it all.
Yeah.
I want it all. Mm-hmm. And that includes the capabilities of like it's streaming and what it's the fidelity that you can watch things in.
Yeah.
Blu-rays.
You said
4Ks.
you have a 4K TV, right? Is that what you're running off of?
Yeah. I have to double check.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's a 4K TV.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I haven't. The thing is, unless you have something like a PlayStation, you have no other way of like figuring out the capabilities of something like, like it says it on the box. It's like ultra high def, and you're like, sure. I mean, okay.
I assume.
Yeah. So, I want to also push that to its limits, and I've realized something recently with all of this streaming news that's been coming out, and all these just how these mega conglomerates have been handling this stuff, that people like yourself, the nerds of the world,
Sure. I'll accept it.
have one-upped the casual fan or the casual user of these things, in that everyone was duped by these companies thinking everything that I enjoy will be all in one place, and I'll just I'll just pay this flat rate, and then I'll just be able to enjoy all the things that I want. And you really started to see it bubbling once we all kind of collectively figured out that we don't own any of this stuff, and at a moment's notice, it's gone.
Yeah, and the physical media gods and I sit atop our thrones in the pantheon of being right, and look down on you plebeians, watching you as your world burns.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. And it was just really eye-opening thing where I was just like, because I realized something about myself, which is I don't go on Netflix and Hulu and all these. I don't go on them looking for the new shit that Netflix has made, or like, do their Russian roulette of a movie and try to find something to watch, right?
Yeah.
What I do is I think of a movie that I want to watch, and then I look through each one to see if they're streaming it.
Yeah.
Right? And I've realized that, like, all of my favorite movies, why don't I just own them? I could just one day, like, I've watched The Mummy on HBO Max. I mean, like, when I got HBO Max and realized it was on there, I mean, I watched it probably like 6 or 7 times, honestly.
As you do, yeah.
And so I'm thinking, like, when they decide to just take it off, that's it. I just don't get to enjoy one of my favorite movies until somebody else buys the rights to it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And this is like millions of people are starting to realize, like, you fucked up. We fucked up.
Yeah.
There's a whole industry out there that we just, for like 5 or 6 years, just ignored while you guys were jumping into the Criterion collection and like racking up the. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, it sucks. Because I wanted to beef up my collection of Blu-rays. And then I realized, like, there was like a 2 or 3 year span where I didn't have to because everything was there, right?
Yeah.
Same thing as like buying records. I haven't bought a record in, I don't know, like
it's been a while
2
for me
years
too.
maybe.
Yeah.
And it's because it just comes out and then it's right there on Apple Music. It's like, it's tough.
Yeah.
I can listen to it like 6-7 times in a row before I would even make it to a store to buy it.
And listen to it more places. It's
Yeah.
a convenience thing. If you buy something in physical media, I will say this to your credit. If you buy something on physical media, if it doesn't have that like voodoo code or
Yeah.
movies everywhere, whatever it is. You're stuck watching it on, whatever Blu-ray player or 4K Blu-ray player you have.
Right.
So, there is something to the convenience of having something able to experience in your pocket at any time.
Right.
And being able to stream to a TV, whichever TV you have, as long as it's a smart TV, you can go wherever you want and just watch it.
Right.
So yeah, that's super nice, but and it's a big but.
Big old butt.
You are assuming that it's available somewhere.
Yeah.
Which may
Or
not
hope
be
it.
true. Yeah. And then even if it is, you may have to pay for it anyway.
Yep.
So
yeah, I have like 5 or 6 movies that I bought over the years on Amazon Prime that I didn't even realize. I went on there and I have Heat, I have the Goofy movie, and I have all of the John Wick movies.
okay, yeah, that's good. That's
I
good.
didn't realize
Yeah.
because I would just one day I would just get so desperate to watch the thing. I'm like, what's $2 here? What's
Yeah.
$8, $4 or $5 there?
Yeah,
Fuck it.
Yeah, they get me with the $5 deals.
They
I'm like,
do.
all right, I might as well.
Yeah, it's like I want to watch this movie. I'm done looking. I'm in my bed. I'm relaxed. I want to watch this thing. Fuck it. I just,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
true.
saw somebody was saying that like like the free downloads on or not the free downloads, but like downloading video games, for instance, is like going to the store and buying the game or just $5 to just re-download it. Like one guy was saying, he was talking about the physical media, and he was saying that like I have my copy of GTA, but it was on sale for like $5 or $6 one day, and it was like, why don't I just buy it? And honestly,
Yeah.
I did the same thing. I did the same
yeah.
thing when I moved out of my house and I had to live with my parents for a bit. All of my games were in a box, in another box, in another box,
In a box. Yeah.
and I was like, I can't reach them, and some of them were on sale, and I did it with Red Dead Redemption because I was like, I wanted to play it, and I just fucking it was on
Schrodinger's
sale.
game. You don't know if the game's alive or
Schrodinger's
dead. It's in the box.
It's in the box, so it doesn't exist because I can't see it. I don't know.
Right.
So
I get it. No, I mean, I'm right there with you. Whenever there is a game that I happen to already have that is on PS Plus that I can download again and just get rights to play without the disc, I'm on it in a second.
yeah,
And I mean, that's what I do whenever I buy something on my Switch, because that's the entire point. It's not having to lug around a bunch of shit.
right.
So, I bought the biggest memory card I could and just keep downloading games. Because I want, especially for the Switch, there's only like a handful of games that I really want for Switch, but I really want them whenever I go anywhere. You know, like I always want to play Mario Kart.
Yeah.
I always want to play Smash.
Right.
I always want the ability to play Switch Sports. Like all these things I want on hand all the time. So if I have to like worry about, and mind you, I have a case that has the game slots in them, and I use it obviously for the games I already bought.
See, now that's a utility carrying case.
It is a utility carrying case. It's like cargo shorts but in your hands.
Has the same effect on women.
Yeah. It's the only time cargo shorts will ever be in anybody's hands. But yeah, I get it. It seems like such a little thing, but it actually does matter.
Yeah.
That utility and that ease of use of not even having to get up off your butt to put the disc in and take the other disc out.
Yeah. I mean, this is why I was so hard pressed to get the discless version, because I was like, I don't see myself buying physical media.
I get that, but at the same time, I will reiterate my point. Why not have the option?
Oh, no, dude, I have changed my tune.
Okay.
1,000% I've changed my tune on this. Well, I mean, obviously I had to because I had to. That was the only way I was going to get one. But
Okay.
I have, even if I wasn't forced to get it, I would have bought it.
Okay.
Because I have changed my tune on this.
I see. I thought it was a thing out of necessity as opposed to you actually wanting the disc
It
version.
was necessity, but it
Why are you lying to me right now?
I had to. It was the only way I was going to be able to get a PlayStation.
Uh-huh.
Was the disc drive version.
Yeah.
But in all of my thinking on this has made me realize that I'm glad that was the only option, because if I got the discless version, I would be beholden to Sony and whatever company decided we're going to just take the game we're just going to take the game out of the store. So go fuck yourself. That's it.
Yeah.
Like you don't have any, because 90% of these games that are out now are online only or online access, or like you have to have some kind of internet access to play the game.
Updates, everything, like literally every game.
Yeah, these games are constantly updating, and if you know, you can kind of get away with not playing with not downloading an update for like maybe 1 or 2 cycles, but after a while, if you don't download it, the game's literally unplayable.
Yeah, it's like an iPhone.
Yeah,
It just dies eventually.
it's like you can avoid those downloads updates all you want, but after a while, you're gonna need to get that
you're gonna need to do this.
And so I just more and more I'm like, you know, feel like I don't want to be beholden to these companies that just decide when I get to enjoy things.
Sure,
You know,
sure.
So
Yeah, and I can now share games with you as I have been, and you can start growing your modern 4K Blu-ray collection.
yes, thank you. That's silver lining.
Yeah, well, you can spend more money now.
Yeah,
What's going to be your first movie you buy?
I want to go through and just look at like what's available from the Criterion collection, because there's some stuff in there.
They're just starting 4K now.
Yeah.
So
What would be the first movie that I buy? You know what movie? I don't know if it's, obviously I don't know. I haven't done any research to see if there's like a 4K version or even a Blu-ray version of this, but there's a movie. It's not probably. I think for my money, I'm saying this publicly.
Okay.
For my money, it is probably, if not the best martial arts movie, top 5 martial arts movies of all time.
Okay.
It's Fist of Legend. It is the Jet Li version of Bruce Lee's Fist of Fury. Mm-hmm. It came out in 96 or 97.
Yeah, I was in the sweet spot.
I mean, and it is, for my money, it's definitely my favorite martial arts
94.
movie. 94?
Yeah.
So it's just, let's see if that's the version, because they made like 6 versions of this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, because that guy's a fucking animal.
Yeah.
Billy Chow,
yeah.
plays the Japanese military
General or
Yeah.
he's not a general, but yes, the asshole.
Well, he is a General Vegeta.
Oh, he is. Oh, look at that.
That movie, so I just, if you haven't seen it, you have to watch it, because it's so good. Every fight scene is incredible, and it's like I mean, it does the classic hero's tale of Jet plays what is the classic hero's name? Well, what's the character's
Shenzhen.
comes back. His master loses in a tournament. But there's no way that his master would have lost in a tournament. He's the greatest martial artist of all time. So they find out that he was poisoned by his opponent, and so Shenzhen goes on this basically a rampage. And it also it's a subplot about like Japanese imperialism.
Yeah.
And
It's the classic like Hong Kong Chinese storyline of like nationalism.
Yeah.
And solidifying that the Chinese are great people.
Yeah.
And the Japanese
strong
don't belong here.
Exactly. And it's just, I think it's a perfect movie. I think it's perfect. And I had it on DVD years ago and lost that DVD, and I haven't been able to find it on streaming since.
This case here, because that's the one that I had.
No,
I had that one.
no, that one's sick though. It was the one where he's kicking. He's in the air and he's kicking.
We'll have to look it up. This isn't good radio.
No, it's not. But is it on Blu-ray?
Let's see. Let's try 4K.
Indeed.
No, I think it's only on Blu-ray for now. Yeah, a lot of these, especially foreign films, are now either hard to find or outright impossible to find.
Yeah.
I've been finding that with a lot of like the classic old school Hong Kong action movies.
Yeah.
Like just even impossible to find on DVD.
Yeah.
Let alone Blu-ray or 4K. So that's why, like, whenever Criterion Collection comes out with one, or I mean any of like the individual like small house but like super expensive but really nice packaging companies come out with like a special edition of, like, I was just telling you off air, Super Cop.
Yeah.
They're doing that. It's like $40, but I'll take it because it looks awesome. And you know, like, it's hard to find a lot of times. Of course, it's hard to find a lot of times like a really clean version of these films because they were not preserved very well a lot of times.
Right.
So I love whenever we're able to get like a really clean version of the movie in the highest def you can possibly find with all of the voice options.
Yeah.
So you can have it subbed or dubbed,
Yeah.
whichever way you like. So I'm excited for the future. I hope they keep doing this. And but yeah, Fist Legend is a good choice for a Blu-ray at least.
Yeah.
What would you want to get in 4K though?
What would be worth it in 4K? Maybe Inception. That's also one of my other favorite movies.
That'd be good. Yeah, yeah. They shot some of that in IMAX,
Yeah.
right? So yeah,
straight up IMAX cameras. Yeah.
Anything with IMAX camera in it looks really good in 4K.
And maybe Dark Knight Rises. Maybe like
Could be good too.
I mean, like 3/4 of that movie is IMAX
Yeah.
cameras. Say what you guys want, and I've seen a lot of discourse about The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises and like what Nolan has done to superhero movies. I fucking love The Dark Knight Rises. I don't give a shit. It's not obviously objectively you can say that Begins and The Dark Knight are better movies, obviously, but The Dark Knight Rises, there's a charm to it, there's a funness to it. Maybe, sure, it it goes it I think if Nolan had made one more movie, he would have jumped the shark because
Yeah.
of like how goofy it was starting to get. But I think it's still an awesome movie.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, just but you see these people talk about like how it's definitely the worst in the franchise. One of the, it's not, in retrospect it didn't age well and all this stuff, and I just see people shitting on it more now.
I guess. I mean, but that's like saying it's the worst of a good thing.
That's exactly what they're saying.
It's still really good.
Yeah.
It's really entertaining and well shot and well acted, and
Yeah,
I don't know. Why are people complaining? Make
well,
them stop.
You're just getting this new breed of comic book fan that's starting to get like a little holier than thou with these movies, especially with the last couple of Marvel movies and some of obviously the stuff that happened with Zack Snyder's movies and just the way that DC has handled their movies.
Yeah.
You're just starting to get this holier than thou comic book fan, where they're just starting to like turn on the machine that is churning these things out, and in some instances for good reason, because they are just shitting these fucking movies out now to the point that some of them, the quality has dipped, so they're not completely off base.
Yeah, we're talking about the Marvel slump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I understand where some of the arguments come from, but sometimes you see it get taken too far. And honestly, I'm literally just talking about Twitter, So it's not, I haven't had a conversation with a real human being who was like, The Dark Knight Rises sucks. Everybody loves that movie. I'm talking about Twitter, where you can find any opinion on anything in the universe.
Said very loudly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just, Twitter has this fucked up thing where sometimes you'll be scrolling and you'll see something funny, and then you'll see, based on your likes or some trending topic that you don't even like, comic book will be the thing, and it's like, because you have talked about or liked a tweet
That's just Andrew Tate.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. And then you're subjected to just the worst things in the universe, and you're like, I didn't ask for this.
Yeah.
If this is Twitter's idea of an algorithm that is created for me, that is curated for my experience.
Yeah.
They're dead fucking wrong, and I don't know who I don't know who they are.
Who do you think I am?
But it ain't who they think I am. Because
Yeah.
every time I go on there, I'm like, why would you show me this? I have zero interest in seeing this, in including myself in this discourse. Like I don't want to be a part of this.
Yeah.
Why do I see this every day?
It's a hate machine.
It is.
It keeps it rolling.
So fucked up.
I will give you advice for your first 4K though.
Please.
I made it a tradition, and I broke it with 4K. I broke it with 4K. But I made a tradition starting with DVD to make my first movie that I buy on any of the upgrades to be The Mummy.
Really?
Yeah, because that was the first DVD we ever bought in the house, and I wore that one out.
Honestly, I had that in the back of my mind of that being the one, but I was like, is that the one? And I started thinking of like stuff outside the box.
Yeah,
But like
it was. I remember in order. It was The Mummy, then it was Blade,
yeah.
then it was The Matrix.
That is a fucking murderer's row.
Yeah, those were the 3 first DVDs we bought.
You kidding me?
Yeah.
All 3 of those.
And we had the surround sound system, and we tested it out with Blade. Oh, so good.
Oh
So
man.
good.
Can we just do, I know we want to bring the one real end back. Mm-hmm. And we do need to bring it back with what we plan to bring it back with.
Yeah.
But I also, can we do like The Mummy, or just a favorite where we can just
Gush.
Yeah.
Because
Cuz I
say here, and I say to you, faithful fans, we should do a horror movie sort of thing for Halloween.
Absolutely.
For October.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we can do, I don't know, maybe a movie a week.
Yeah.
And we can just make October the one reel in month, and just do a new horror movie review every month or every week.
I'm absolutely down for it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
We need to put it on the books because we will forget.
We will forget. Yeah. It's what beer does. Yeah.
But yeah, that sounds like a tremendous idea.
At least one. We can at least commit to one, but I would like to do a series.
Yeah.
If we can.
Yeah. We could do, well, so if we did it for the month, I guess we could start late September and do like top 5. So each week just do another one.
Oh yeah. And I think The Mummy would fit in very well with that.
You don't need to convince me to
saying.
watch The Mummy, man.
Yeah.
We can watch it like as soon as we're done with this. I'll watch it. I have watched that movie back to back. I've watched it. There was a 2-day span where I watched it, and then I was like, I kind of want to watch it again. And I just put it back on and just watched it again.
You're like a 5-year-old watching Cars.
And it's a perfect movie.
Yeah, it is.
It is a perfect movie.
Yeah.
It has everything.
It's so funny. It's so funny you say that, because I agree. But I remember when it came out, there was backlash against it. People didn't like it.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I remember the weekend it came out, because one of my cousins, went to the movie theater to see it and came back saying it was okay.
Oh man, no. I mean, day one, dude. I remember me and a friend. That movie came out in '99. I was like 9 going on 10, and I mean, we quoted that movie near constantly.
Yeah.
Just constantly.
Yeah.
Looks like I've got all the horses. Like every fucking day.
Yeah.
Looks like you're on the wrong side of the river.
Of course.
So
of course.
good. Oh man, yeah, yeah. But you're right. It was. I mean, because I don't know. I don't know what people were. Well, I guess I know what people were expecting. It was technically a remake of the classic Mummy movie, so I guess they were expecting like a horror movie in the vein of that original.
Yeah. It's more of a swashbuckling adventure.
Yeah, it's basically just pirates before pirates.
Yeah,
you know, it's the great grandson of Indiana Jones. It's like I mean, I think Brendan Fraser in his prime definitely could go neck and neck with Harrison Ford. I mean, Harrison is the man. He's a god.
Of course,
He's on
yeah,
Mount
yeah.
Olympus. So
Yeah.
let me say this with the caveats.
All due respect.
All due respect.
Yeah.
Harrison is untouchable. I'm saying that Brendan was up there. I'm saying he's same tier. Harrison is the god.
Right. Obviously, Harrison Ford's run went longer.
Yeah. And more consistently.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you got to think like that third Mummy movie was just...
I even have issues with the second one. We both know this.
Yeah, I mean, the second one is... there leaves a little to be desired in that second one.
You know my sense for the CG and stuff.
Yes.
How much of a stickler I am and how much that can
and that second
ruin.
one, yeah. And that second one is notorious.
Yeah, yeah.
So...
You know, not enough people talk about the Scorpion King. Speak of the devil.
Hey, man.
It's a fun movie.
It is fun.
Yeah.
It's real
I saw
fun.
that one in theaters. I remember seeing it and it being a good time.
It is. It's yeah. I mean, it's not going to win any fucking...
No.
But it's...
Nothing. Maybe a Razzie. I don't know.
It is I don't know if this still stands, but The Rock was the highest paid debut actor of all time when that movie came out. They gave him I don't know, $15 or $20 million to make that movie.
Came out in 2002. Wow. It's a long time ago.
Yeah. I mean, 2002. This was still like wrestling was still every week.
Yeah.
He was this was peak Rock.
The height of his powers.
2002? 2002? I mean, he was, because Steve Austin was on his way out. He retired in 2003, but he was already pretty much done. Like, his knees were shot. His neck was done. He was just a guy who talked mostly. The Rock, though, 2002?
Yeah.
Buddy.
Yep.
This man was, that's why they gave him like $20 million to make this fucking prequel.
Yeah.
You know?
For never really acting before.
Yeah. That is so much confidence in another human being. Can you imagine being one of the studio heads and you're like, yeah, we've got about $20 million to allocate to one person?
Yeah. Well, and I would say, they had confidence because they saw him acting every week, you know?
I mean, you say that and you're right, but think about all the other
And that's
aspiring.
what I was going to say. I would say that, but if you look at a lot of the other, especially the WWE productions.
Yeah.
Ooh, doggy. Yeah.
They're not good.
No.
They're not good.
No. So, Mr. Dwayne Johnson has had a little special something, obviously.
Yeah. He had that X factor. Even Steve Austin didn't have that. None of them had it.
I mean, John Cena made it, despite all odds.
But the thing is, I don't think they don't have the same thing that The Rock has.
No, of course not.
I think John Cena's funnier, and I think Dave Bautista's a better actor. But I mean, Dwayne Johnson
Well, you
just has
see that by evidence of the movies they've gotten.
Right.
You know, like it's very clear that Dwayne Johnson doesn't have the comedic timing or chops that Cena does.
Right.
Which sounds weird to say, but it's true. If you look at them in movies, like, and again, the roles that they get, I mean, anything that Dwayne Johnson's trying to be funny in, he has a very small window of funniness.
Do you know why? I've thought about this, actually. And I think it's because The Rock is too busy being concerned with his image.
Yeah.
He cannot, and it's the same thing as in wrestling. These guys wouldn't let another guy go over, beat them, because it would affect their reputation.
Their
and
image.
It would, yeah. And I think that The Rock is held on to that, like, I need to be seen a certain way.
Yeah.
Because every time he's funny, it's because he's charming, or he's the handsome guy. And he plays off of being the charming, handsome, charismatic guy.
Or it's very lightly goofy.
Yeah.
It's very lightly goofy. It's
but
never...
but it's always played to how handsome he is and how charming he is. It's never... Cena will just go for it.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the scene in Trainwreck where his character is basically a closeted homosexual. And he, like, dives into it.
Fully goes into
or
it,
watch him in Peacemaker, man. The scene where
of course.
he has a fight scene where he's in his fucking tighty whities.
Yeah.
Like, he like really,
Well, and he can go into, again, like more explicit stuff R-rated stuff.
Yeah.
Where I feel like The Rock's kind of afraid of not looking kid-friendly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I guess happens if you get too big.
Yeah.
But I don't know who's making that call. Is it him or is it the studios?
I think it's definitely
it's
him.
probably him. Yeah.
I think though he tries to shy away from it, I think he has political aspirations.
Yeah.
And I think that if he were to actually run for any kind of office, the first thing that he's going to have to answer for is all of the shady shit that he did in wrestling, all of the shitty things that he said as The Rock. They're definitely going to bring all that stuff up. I mean, he was like a raging misogynist and homophobe.
Yeah. Wasn't everyone in wrestling?
Yes,
at
they
that
were.
time?
Exactly. But not all of them are who Dwayne is now.
Sure.
You know, the rest of those guys can just get away with it because they're like, it was wrestling. It is what it is. But you can't fucking run for governor and be who he was week after week. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying that.
He worked for Jesse Ventura.
Yeah, well, but they weren't, dude. The 80s were not the 90s, man.
Yeah.
The 80s.
They were worse in real life.
Exactly. The 90s, they were worse on camera.
Yeah.
They were encouraged to be the shittiest human beings on the planet.
Don't you think that would help someone nowadays to run for office? To have that gritty of a past?
Yeah, I guess for definitely for a certain
demo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that The Rock is the one guy who they're always looking for a guy who can reach across the aisle.
Yeah.
And
he's got it all.
He really does.
Yeah. Except for, political experience. Not that matters.
Exactly. and also I think if he just gets a broad enough platform,
yeah.
I really honestly think that
it could work.
The sky's the limit for him,
It could
honestly.
work. Yeah.
Really,
I can see it happening.
I
could see that happening. Wow, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never really seriously thought about that, but
yeah.
the stars are aligning in a very weird way, but I could see that happening.
And that's why I don't think you'll ever see him do anything like really. I mean, he did like some stuff early in his movie career, like Pain and Gain and like some like weirder movies he did like in the first couple of years. But after that, once he became Dwayne The Rock Johnson, that was it. He was never going back to that shit. You know?
Yeah. Never look back after Moana.
We haven't got to the AI rapper yet. And we're at an hour 10.
I think that's indicative of how we should treat this.
The
AI rapper.
Yeah. All right. Let's just fucking gloss over it and give it a once over.
Well, I don't know a ton about this.
I can tell you a little bit about it because I've been paying attention.
Tell me about it and tell me your feelings as a human rapper.
Okay. So, FN Meka is the result of a programming project. It was multiple people. It was this team of people that put this thing together, and it's been going on since like 2019.
Described by CNN as a black male cyborg.
Right, and that's a crazy thing for them to describe it as anything other than not real. So this team put together this so basically they fed it. I mean, SoundCloud rappers and trap rappers over the past like 10 years, or not 10 years, like 5 or 6 years. Basically what is hot right now, what's been hot for the past couple of years, they just fed that into this AI program. And it came up with about 75 to 80% of the lyrics. And then they had a guy actually go in there and clean it up.
Okay.
And then actually perform the songs themselves. And then the character is this thing that they created to be like the face of these songs that were created by this program.
Right.
It blew up on SoundCloud, as terrible rappers do.
Yeah.
And it went viral on TikTok, as terrible rappers do. And then it got signed to Capitol Records. Now, the past couple of years, these record labels have been just giving out shady deals and just weird. You're just like some of these guys like Lil Pump or like Lil Yachty. I'm not saying that these guys don't deserve a record deal. Like they have.
Excuse me, Lil Pimp.
Lil Pump. Yeah, sorry, Lil Pimp.
As Donald Trump would say.
I'm not saying that they don't have a strong enough fan base to warrant being signed, but some of them were making like $5, $6, $7 million deals, and it's like off of one song.
Yeah.
It's like these labels. It's like the labels. We're living in a different universe where the economy of music and everything. They were just ignoring it and just going. They just had money to burn.
Well, I think the deals themselves caused the buzz around the artists.
Oh yeah,
as opposed to the other way around.
1,000,000%.
So I mean, you see that. I mean, case positive with how the lack of longevity with a lot of these artists.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's a couple of guys, and I can't remember their names because they were so
exactly.
But some of them made millions of dollars off their
good for them.
advancement. Yeah. I'm not salty about it at all. Anyway, this about
the fake rapper that got a record deal.
It just basically the problem was not the technology, although as to kind of address your original question for how does it make me feel as an actual rapper, the problem wasn't so much the music that was being created, although I do have a serious problem with that, and we'll get to that in a second.
Sure.
It was everything else surrounding it. Mm-hmm. Basically what they did was they took the worst stereotypes that they could find about black artists and things are associated with quote-unquote black culture, fed that into the machine, and also came up with this character's like life story. Like there's a picture that now is probably either been deleted or the Instagram has gone private where he's getting like beat by the cops.
I saw that. Yeah.
But the caption is like, it's almost like a video game where it's like, what do you guys think I should do about this? I'm getting beat by the cops for just being black or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
So it was stuff like that, which that picture was taken before this thing had gone viral. This is like 2019. It went viral because it got signed, and that's when everybody, again, to your point, it was the deal, not so much the actual artistry.
Yeah.
It was the deal that everybody heard about. Then everybody looked into it, and they were like, wait a minute, why is he saying the N-word so much? There's not a black person on this design team. It was just, first it was a joke. First, people made the joke on Twitter that like, I bet you it's a room full of fucking nerds,
white record execs,
and they all
Capitol
just
Records.
put this together, and not a black person in sight. And come to find out, I mean, the guy who runs the design team, he was like, I'm part of one of the most diverse teams that you will find. I'm the only white person there. And it's like, all right, let's just say that you're right, and let's say you have a rainbow coalition of developers and engineers on your team. Do you think that makes it okay?
Yeah.
Do you think that you and the Asian guy over there and the Japanese guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, it's a diverse group. That's good. You hired a diverse, good for you.
Right. That apologizes for everything that this AI is saying right now.
And it's just like, it basically, it was basically the avatar for the worst parts of the commercialization of hip hop. Mm-hmm. It basically just represented everything that is wrong right now.
Yeah. Well, and I think even just knowing the little bit I know, it feels like it trivializes not only hip hop as a culture and genre, but the experiences of black people too.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So it just wasn't really well thought out.
No.
Clearly.
And I can't, for the life of me, wrap my head around why a bunch of record execs thought it was a good idea. I mean, even from a financial standpoint, I guess you don't have to pay an actual person, and you don't have to worry about this person getting into trouble, and you don't have to worry about the content of this person, because everything could be controlled from whoever is a part of that, right? You don't have to worry about a person's personality.
This feels like
it is
Black
a
Mirror.
Thing. It is a really fucked up Black Mirror kind of thing, because they're talking about this as if like this is the guy who designed it. He said, you have the CNN article pulled up?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have the apology here.
Go down further. No, right there. Not to be. This is from the guy who read
Here.
Read that.
I guess his name's Martini. Not to get all philosophical, But what is an artist today? Martini said in an interview last year with Music Business Worldwide. Think about the biggest stars in the world. How many of them are just vessels for commercial endeavors?
What the fuck is he talking about?
That sounds like West Coast investor bullshit.
Yeah, that's Silicon Valley fucking what does that even fucking mean? Even the poppiest of pop artists who do Pepsi commercials and all kinds, they're still human beings.
Yes.
They're still people. They're
Yeah.
still in the studio creating those things.
What
is he talking about?
You would hope that they would bring some artistry to whatever they're doing.
They inevitably do. They have to. They bring who they are as a person. They bring their image. They bring their personality.
Their body.
They bring
their vocal cords.
their life experience. All of that goes into the artistry. What is he talking about? When I read that quote, it infuriated me.
They're just vessels for commercial endeavors.
And that is his reasoning for why it is okay for him to do what he's doing.
So it's clearly it was started in a place of disrespect.
Exactly.
For the art.
There was never a point where they took into account what this would mean for the rest of us, not just rappers, but just artists in general.
Yeah.
What it would mean for people aspiring for these things, what it would mean for
Black people.
They just never took into account any of that.
Yeah.
And they just pushed forward. And that's the problem with a lot of this AI shit. Like I'm sure all of you guys have seen the AI art and all the controversy that's come out with like a machine.
It's a whole conversation.
Just being fed Renaissance art and then just and they're like, that's the
Here
future
you
of
go.
art. Is like, for real? That's the future you want? And I think part of it is excuse me, that was gross. I think part of it is it's no talent hacks who want to minimize what it means to be an artist. Because every time that people talk about being an artist and wanting to aspire to do that for the rest of your life, I see it all the time. I follow this page called For Exposure on Twitter. Shout out to For Exposure. It's a great page. I mean, it's going to make you angry if you start following it.
Is it FOR or number 4?
FOR.exposure and I think .txt or something weird like that. I think if you just Twitter search For Exposure, you'll find it.
Yeah.
And it's basically screenshot and reposts artists being asked by normies, basically, for what is the word? Commissions.
Okay.
To do things, right? So can you write a song for my wedding? Can you do my album artwork? Can you
Write this
create
ad.
this poster? Can you yeah. And
I know this is going.
and then the artist says, "Oh, 100%. What were you thinking? And when did you need it by? I need it by yeah. Okay, well, here are my rates. Rates? You can't do this for free. For free? I don't fucking know you. What are you talking about for free? What? And then their response is inevitably, well, bro. I mean, I have like 10,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
You can just do this for exposure.
I'll send the at.
And then it devolves from, I will help you by showcasing you to all my followers, down to, well, who are you anyway? Get a real fucking job.
Yeah.
And that's the crux of it, I think, is a lot of people who don't have any talent or never even tried to take any kind of artistry to its limit are looking down on artists and going like, well, fucking, they need to fucking get a fucking job anyway. Fuck 'em.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it feels like a lot of tech-minded people looking down their noses at artists because they're the poor.
Yeah. It's tech people going,
You're replaceable.
there's nothing that you can do that I can't do on this computer.
Right.
There's nothing individualistic about you. There's nothing that's worth investing in you that I couldn't do in 2 seconds just programming it. That's how that's how a lot of these guys look at it.
Well, it's taking automation too far. You know?
Yeah.
Like it makes sense if it makes the job faster and more efficient and safer. But when it comes to art, that's a completely different story, and you can't replace artists. You just can't do it.
Yeah.
Even if AI could create a beautiful landscape, that can't be as valuable as somebody who took out the time and hours to paint something from their own memories or view out of their lodge or what, you know, like that inevitably means more because it is more precious.
Yeah. I mean, look at any time Complex or High Society or any of these weird Instagram pages repost something that an artist, an actual person had done, or like somebody like that one guy who would like do weird shit where he like dip a basketball in ink and then like rub the basketball and then
it's Kobe
view pans out. Yeah. And you're like, whoa, holy shit. Like, how did he even learn that he could do that, let alone like fucking be that good at it?
Yeah.
You'll never be able to replicate that. Yeah. If you told me that a computer just printed it out, I'd be like, well, fuck you. Of course it did.
Well, I mean, it's inherently, I mean, less impressive.
Yeah.
It means less.
Yeah. But that's what they want, is for it to mean less. Because then it's all on an even keel. Then it's like, it's not what you think it is. That's what a lot of these tech bros want, is they want their view of things to be everyone else's view, which is that like it's not that impressive. Look, I can do that.
Yeah.
It's not, you know.
Let me program that.
Like I can just make that thing for you, and I can mass produce it, and I can program a thing that will make it for you, and I can make you money, and everybody makes money, and it's easy, and that's
what makes the world go round.
And so Capitol Records dropped this AI rapper, and
you want me to read the apology they wrote out?
No,
here?
No, because fuck them. They should have known better.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
It's
that
what you expect.
Yeah,
from a
it is the from
a company.
And AI could have written that fucking apology.
Pretty much. I'd be surprised if it didn't at this point.
So it is exactly. It's disgusting. It's sad, and it's, you know, it is what it is. And I don't think we have seen the last of this. I think all this has done has emboldened people like this guy to come back later and be like, all right, we worked out the kinks. There's nothing offensive about this guy.
He's not going to say the N-word anymore.
Which is honestly even worse.
Yeah.
Because now you're going to create this milquetoast version of the thing that you were trying to make.
Right.
And it's just like, again, no thought, no heart, no soul went into this. And that's why it's going to continue to fail, because there's nothing real.
There's no spirit to it.
There's nothing tangible. There's nothing to like, there's no risks.
Yeah.
Part of the reason that they were so happy to do this is because there was no risk involved with this thing.
Yeah.
He couldn't get arrested. He couldn't say something controversial unless they programmed him to say it.
Yeah.
He couldn't do anything unless they wanted him to do it.
Yeah.
There's no risk.
It's the next level of dystopian, like, black artists being under control of major record label.
Right. Even when he's not an actual black artist.
Right. They don't need you anymore. They're just inventing new ones of their own that they can control completely.
Yeah.
This is a Black Mirror episode.
And then you see people like the TDE president Punch. He's like, we got to protect hip hop culture and black culture. And it's like, yeah, man, should have been doing that fucking 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, somebody responded to him and, yeah, kind of agreed. The guy was like, I mean, not to Punch specifically, but like, he responded to him and he's like, well, we should have been doing this, but every time we get something, we fucking sell it. And it's like, how can you protect something that every time it becomes a success, the first thing that you think to do is to make as much money off of it and then move on to the next thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you can't protect a culture when you have no control over it. Of course. Like Versus, for instance. Now, Timbaland and Swiss Beats have a lawsuit against Triller because Triller backed out of the deal. And now Versus is just floating in space. And it's like, it was this beautiful thing that was created by two guys for nothing but the love. Right. Nothing but entertaining people. Nothing but a good time. Nothing but bringing people together in what we thought was like going to be the end of the world for a second.
Yeah. It was a celebration.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. And then it got commodified as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And now look at it. You know, it's like, well, yeah, that's what happens to all of these things.
As soon as they get big enough, inevitably.
You can't protect something like that. What are you supposed to do?
Just keep producing.
Yeah, and let these fucking companies
Sell. Yeah.
You know,
just stay valuable. That's all you can do.
That's all you can do. Stay valuable.
Yep.
So that's where we are. So we'll see what happens. A guy like me, you just kind of go back to basics, and you're just like, I just want I want to like just stay right below that level of commodification and just go like, this is whoever wants to get this thing, they're gonna understand it, and maybe they'll pay for it, and then we'll just keep it right here on this like subversive level.
Yeah.
And we'll be happy with that.
Yeah.
Because we're past the idea of changing the game or being like this huge. It's like no. It's fine to just be right here,
Right there, right at the level where you still have control.
Yeah, exactly.
Complete creative control.
At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. This show and the music and all the content that we create. If we lose control over it, then what's the point?
There's only two options here, okay? It's either we stay at a certain level of just, being able to be profitable while still having complete creative control, or we blow up to the highest echelon of podcasting and for hip hop, and you become a mogul in a way that you still have creative control, but you make a ton of money at the same time.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
then you victimize other artists.
Right. So exactly.
Yeah.
And if we're
become the puppet master.
If we're sitting on Rogan type of money for this podcast, then sorry guys.
You're gonna be hearing about a lot of supplements.
Yeah, we're selling the fuck out.
You can skip ahead.
Kidding,
it's fine.
Sort of, not really.
It's easy enough to skip ahead. Don't worry.
No, I wouldn't sell out. Anyway, I think that's all I have to say.
That's enough.
Yeah.
That is enough.
All right. We got to get to these beers, but we can't get to these beers until we get to our cheers of the week. So, Obi, you want to start us off, my friend?
I would love to. I only have a little left. So weak.
No. Well, there's more in there.
There are.
I cracked open a second one.
This is my second one.
Oh. I'm holding your first one.
I am smiling. My cheers of the week.
Here's my second one.
My cheers of the week goes to UCF football.
UCF football.
With a new season upon us, and soon to be on top of us.
Hell yeah.
I can't wait. No, I can't wait.
No, I can't wait.
Yeah, if you know me, which you may or may not, I've never been much of a sports guy, but I think really, other than combat sports, because I've been a fan of those forever.
Hell yeah, brother.
When it comes to football, basketball, baseball, et cetera, I've been an outsider. I've been a fan here and there. I have my teams.
Yeah.
But really, college football, and it really inspired this passion for football I didn't know I had. Because the only other thing I have for the pros is the Jets. So, but
sorry.
That being said,
It's okay.
That being said, Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco.
That being said, UCF football is
Joe Flacco, baby.
is going places, and there's been a lot of changes. From coaching with Gus Malzahn, very exciting, very prestigious coach.
Talk about it.
Coming in last year, having a complete change up of quarterback. Mm-hmm. Now we have, I think, 3 quarterbacks at this point that we can choose from, and they just recently announced John Rise Plumlee as he's a dual threat. Dual threat. Former quarterback of Ole Miss. Mm-hmm. Also plays baseball. He's now. I think he became a running back at one point, but now he's back in quarterback where he wanted to be with UCF.
Nice.
So excited to see how he does in this upcoming game. If he doesn't do well, which I have all the faith in the world that he will, because he's a good runner, and that's what Malzahn likes to do. We have options.
Yeah.
There's a big breadth and depth of our chart right now, and I'm excited to see what the boys do. And just excited for football to be back in general.
Yeah.
You know, like I was telling you last week, I'm just dying to have something to do on Sunday nights.
Itching.
So it's just gonna be nice to have it back. You know, I just can't wait to have that tradition returned.
Hell yeah. It feels like this off season is longer than. I mean, it just feels like it's been an eternity.
It's been forever, right?
Yeah.
It's been forever. And I don't know why that is, but it just, maybe it's because like this is the first year we've kind of come back to normal in society.
Yeah.
And so now it's like, okay, when is this coming back too?
Yeah.
I'm itching. I'm itching for it. So excited for football in general and UCF football. Go Knights. Charge on.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, brother. Yeah. I want to go to a couple games too. So.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm down for that. Fuck
It's been
yeah.
a while. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
That game we went with Juan,
Yeah.
that was killer.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. So we got to try to do something like that again.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Or at least a little tailgate, you know, a little tailgate.
A little tailgate.
A little tailgate.
You can always go to a bar to watch the game itself.
Yeah.
Why not?
Little
It's too close not to.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We're lucky enough to live in proximity
Right.
of a big college football
That's true.
town.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
put some respect on the Knights.
Hell yeah. All right. My cheers of the week is going to the Alchemist. Mr. Alchemist. Alchemist. One of the greatest hip-hop producers of all time. I've realized in this past couple of months I'm working on a project, and I've been putting a lot of myself into it, you know, working, basically doing the entire thing, you know, cover art, production, everything, engineering. So it's from top to bottom, it's me. So this next project that comes out is going to be all me.
Yeah.
And I realized that I have taken more influence from everything that the Alchemist has been doing the past couple of years than I've taken from any. I mean, I think that if I had to pick my favorite producers, probably DJ Premier, but I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't more influenced in my own production style by the Alchemist.
Yeah.
Like the things that he does, the samples that he finds, the way that he freaks the samples, like you listen to it and you're just like, I mean, how did he even, why would he do that? Like it's just so it's really Dilla-esque in that you're like, I wouldn't even think to have done that with the sample. I wouldn't have thought to chop it that way. And it's just fucking fascinating, man. And it's just like anything else that you learn a little bit about, you gain a respect for.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? So like when I learned a little bit of jiu-jitsu, it completely changed how I watched the UFC and mixed martial arts in general. Just a couple of months of doing it myself, I was like, "Wow, man, holy shit!"
It is rough.
Yeah, and you just gain this respect that not doing it doesn't give you, right?
Yeah.
And now that I finally started doing this other side of it, again, it's just another thing where you're like, man, I had no idea. I mean, I knew that it was hard, but I had no idea. Like, it's not just difficult. It's that you like, it takes a different kind of brain to do the things that some of these, the greats do.
Yeah.
You know, I think anybody, you give them 6 months and you put a laptop and a fucking MIDI keyboard in front of them, I think it can come up with a decent beat. But the greats, the top tier, the Mad Libs, the Dillas, the Premiers, the Hit Boys, he's fantastic.
Sure.
Guys like that, like, it's a different level, man.
Yeah.
And I've just been listening. I just keep finding myself listening to Alchemist shit that just like is changing my view of how to do things. So
yeah, he's also really good at finding samples from completely obscure sources.
yeah,
So like a lot of international music, a lot of these really exotic sounds that you don't ordinarily hear in America.
yeah,
You'll just go finding it in a crate somewhere, a dusty crate. You can almost hear the grit in the album itself from the 70s in Algeria or something.
Yep.
And it's really interesting how...
Believe me, that is another thing that I've stolen from him is like trying to find
obscure samples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird. The weirder,
really
the
cool.
better. The like songs that were like, I don't like. I've been sampling stuff from like, is it in English? I don't want to sample it. I want something that sounds like you can't even, like the words, the language, all of it is part of the music itself. Like it has to have a melody, even if you don't understand it, part of it has to have some kind of melody to it.
Yeah.
And like all of that is just ripped off from The Alchemist. So there you go. I think that's the cheers of the week. Let's get these brewskis out of the way. Obi, what'd you think of the neon beer hug from the Goose Island Beer Company?
It was really good. I like how juicy it is. It doesn't go really above and beyond in flavor, but that's okay for me. And it comes in at a respectable 7%. I think that is around the sweet spot that I like my IPAs to be at. Yeah, I mean, it comes off with a very like sort of hazy flavor for me. Hazy, juicy, kind of that vibe. Nothing really individual about it, I will say. And that knocks it down a peg for me. So I'm going to give it a 4. I think it's good, especially considering you can find this, kind of everywhere.
Yeah.
So I like it. I mean, I would get it again, and in fact, I did get it again because it was BOGO. So I have another one of these.
Nice.
But
Nice. Very nice.
I'm happy because it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna also give it a 4, just because I'm not gonna chalk anything up to its mass distribution or what the company has turned into. Just on flavor alone, it's good, and if it's widely available, I'd snag it again. If I saw it at a bar, I'd go for it. If I wanted, like nice IPA, and I agree with you. I think 7 is this sweet spot.
Yeah.
I don't think you go any lower than that, you're getting into like kind of a session. I mean, I guess most IPAs hover around like a 6.5.
Yeah.
But I think 7 is
most of them I see are like 6 to 7.5 at the most.
Yeah.
I think the highlight 7.5.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But I think you want, especially if it's not a double IPA, but you want like you want a little booze, on that. It kind of complements the juiciness of the IPA, I think.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. But on the other end of it, is there anything super like unique about it, or is it some kind of mind blowing like I've never had this kind of no, there's nothing special about it. So get it if you see it. Don't go out of your way for it.
Sure.
I mean, I as far as I know, as far as I can remember, the flagship Goose IPA is just as good, if not better.
Yeah.
So
less hazy, less fruity.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely less fruity.
More of a traditional bitter IPA flavor, but yeah, solid. Yeah.
So that's a unanimous 4.
Yes.
For the Neon Beer Hug.
Beer Hug.
You think we got it?
I know we got it.
Well, then let's get the fuck out of here. This has been the One Beer In podcast for myself, Marco Dupa, for Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Get yourself a beer.
Thank you guys for listening. Drink delicious beer and have a beautiful evening.
We love you.